Alright, for those of you who do not know, this is part 2 of my first game as Riven, and I will be commentating it. Now, part 2 is not like part 1 because instead of looking at her laning phase and giving people an impression of the character's abilities and how they work, I'm just going to be looking at the remaining team fights for the rest of the game. Now, I could post the entire video, but as I said in the first video, it was a 60-minute game. I don't think everybody wants to watch that. Now, we started out mid, and we saw Riven and Maokai fighting in top lane, so we ran straight up river because Maokai has already died twice. So, we saw the Gragas ult go off, and we decided to disengage because obviously we can't fight them under tower. If you look at the score right now, it's 10-20. So the advantage is clearly in the favor of the enemy team, and we really do not want a fair fight because we would get completely shut out, I think. So, Taric went in for a stun on Olaf. We're all taking some pretty solid harass just from Gragas barrels. You know, there's really no poke on our team, so and here we go with a fight. Open with exhaust on Kayle. We start focusing her down. Maokai ult gets dropped. And the fight's going really well for us. You know, Riven gets low, Kayle gets low, Jarvan gets low. Gragas is the only one still at full, or close to full, and we start just, you know, we chase, we get greedy, and the fight just completely falls apart. 4 of them get away with something like 200 HP, and Gragas is still at full HP, and, you know, then we blow Fortify, and they start pushing down these towers. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, you know, that's the fault of Focus Fire, whatever. Really, we don't have any single target DPS on our team. We have axes from Olaf, which are AoE. Most of Riven's damage is AoE. And Maokai's damage is AoE. So we can't really focus any one thing down, and honestly to do so I'd say would be a mistake because then Kayle's ult would just completely screw us over. Alright, since the last fight, nothing's happened. I'm on my way mid after farming top, and it looks like Jarvan's getting caught. Brand ults, gets off 3 bounces and a nice pillar. Very, very good. They catch Jarvan out of place, so it is now, any fight we want, a 5v4. Now, I'm not sure how well we're going to be able to actually win a 5v4, but we are definitely going to try and force one. So Kayle was coming from top, so I'm going to try and run through the wood and see if I can find her, and there she is. She's meeting up with her team right now. Riven was coming from bottom, so realistically she's going to be in the jungle about now. I think we're going to loop around and try and find her there. But she's probably already made it to her team. So let's see, we get in this fight right here. Maokai's ult goes down, just a huge giant AoE cluster, and we're able to pick up 2 kills and maybe a 3rd on this Gragas right here. Yeah, there we go. And then Kayle is getting fought by Maokai and myself. Now I'm really low. Jarvan shows up, and he's going to be able to pick up this Maokai for sure. There's pretty much no way this Maokai is going to get away. Jarvan's got a slow, and then flag and drag. So Maokai is going to be in a very, very bad spot. Now, that fight was 4v5, and they still came out on top, kind of. Like, if Jarvan wouldn't have showed up, then obviously it would have been 4 for 3 in our favor. But he definitely showed up, so that, you know, tilted the scales. Alright, since the last fight, nothing terribly important's happened, but here I come in running into red buff. You know, we're in my jungle, and my friends are nearby, so I just keep fighting. And, you know, I'm tanking pretty much all of them, but I flash out, Valor to get away again. And everyone's here now, so we decide to go back in. You know, I'm still sitting about half. Olaf is going in as hard as he knows how, and we managed to pick up Taric. Now, I'm going to loop around here because I assume that they're going to try and get out this way, and here we go. So Valor in, stun, and Q combo. Now you can see that I'm keeping the stacks of my passive down, and we're going to chase this Kayle all the way down as far as we can. And there we go. Very, very excellent team fight by us. Olaf did a great job sacrificing himself there and fighting. So overall, good play. Alright, so here we're doing the kind of Nashor standoff, and after the last team fight we weren't able to get a tower and we weren't willing to try Nashor without a smite and Gragas up, because Gragas can just burst it down. But here we go with a fight right now. So Maokai jumps in over the wall, we're fighting in Maokai's ultimate, and I managed to pick up the BF sword, which means my damage output is actually getting to be pretty freaking good. So Jarvan comes in, he gets ulted, Maokai is zoning the rest of the enemy team, and I pick up a double kill here. Maokai flashes in, does Twisted Advance to root down the Taric, and we're able to pick up the Taric. And Riven is really low, Gragas gets stunned, and we're able to finish him off, and we go in for the Riven now, but she exhausts me, and we decide to back away. I think we're going to try and do Nashor because Riven is the only one of the enemy team up, or maybe we're just going to go for this tower. We'll see. So we lowered mid tower pretty heavily after that last attack, but we stopped and went and picked up Nashor. So I have completed a Thirster. We go mid to finish off this tower, and I think we're going to try and start a fight. Yep, right here. So Maokai's ult goes down, Gragas ults in the middle of it, and I exhaust this Kayle. I'm just gonna go in on her as hard as I can. My team is now chasing Riven through the enemy woods while Riven's team chases me. So here I am fighting basically 4 people, and now I'm just gonna try and run away. My team is doing the exact same thing with their Riven, and I end up really low. Enemy team chases me, I run into their woods to meet up with my team that was chasing their Riven. Jarvan drops an excellent Cataclysm, zones out most of my team, but Maokai is able to keep them interested long enough for the wall to drop and us to bust through. So we are moving in here, and I get blown up by Gragas ultimate. That was super cool. Now here we are basically being stupid and throwing away an excellent team fight by tower diving. So there they picked up 2 kills. The enemy team picked up 2 kills from tower diving, and yeah, I don't think they're gonna pick up another one here, but I want you guys to watch this just to see how good of a chaser Riven is. That Riven has Triforce, so her movement speed is a little faster than Maokai, but just using her abilities, she's able to close the gap really well. Alright, so we just backdoored top tower. Managed to get our creeps up here, and we're going to have them go to the 2nd tier top tower, but here we ping Nashor. So we are going to try and rush down Nashor and take advantage of the fact that these guys don't have any wards. Hopefully, I guess the reason we would try and rush this down is because we assume that they're too dumb to know that 5 people are missing at this stage in the game. It means they're probably doing Nashor. Anyway, they figure it out. Maokai runs out there, tries to keep them all away from us. We manage to pick up Nashor and we start fighting. You know, the fight looks like it's actually going pretty well for us, and then Kayle ults Gragas. Jarvan does an actual incredible amount of damage. Kayle shows up, and suddenly it's 2v3. So Maokai and I both flash over the wall, Kayle follows, and we start running just to get away. So that was a 2 for 3 in their favor, but we managed to pick up Nashor, which kind of makes everything okay. Alright, so nothing really important happened other than us losing an inhibitor, but that seems to be fairly obvious. Here we see Taric is a little bit overextended, so we're all kind of meeting up with him because we think that's where they're going to be. So here they are at red. Everyone's behind me, so I run in there right away. I exhaust, blow my ultimate, and just try and blow up Kayle as fast as possible, get her down, and then I just start swinging the big sword into the middle of the fight. Now, Jarvan poops on my brand's day, just focuses him down, but we're fighting in the Maokai ultimate, which makes the fight completely in our favor. Not to mention how late Gragas showed up, but it doesn't really matter now. Jarvan is getting pinned down. We're going to try and get him before he flag and drags, and we get him. So that was 2 for 5, and we're going to go backdoor an inhibitor right now. Alright, so we just got brand blue, and we run down to Dragon. We see Riven and Kayle in the middle of it, and we decide to get into a fight. And we force the Riven out of the fight incredibly fast, pick up Dragon, force Kale out, and then we chase down Tarek, while Gragas and Jarvan poop on my brand again. So we're chasing down Tarek, and Kale shows up, saves his life. I start chasing down the Kale, and my Tarek shows up, stuns her. Focus down the Jarvan. Jarvan's got no ultimate, but he's probably going to try and flag and drag. Yep, there it is, flag and drag over the wall. So we are going to chase him down with Maokai. Maokai gets his twisted advance. I run across the wall, waiting for Jarvan's flag and drag, catch him. Tarek's probably going to try and run under this tower, so I'm just going to meet him there. And we're going to pick up, what, 3 kills? Only people alive are Gragas and Riven. Since the last fight, I've stolen their red, and our inhibitor has been respawned. So right now I am top, trying to force their attention by feigning a backdoor. Because we have super creeps mid, and they have normal creeps. So if they spend all their time up here, then they lose their base. So here they try and get into a fight, and we get a stun on Kale. We kind of don't go in because we're worried about the Gragas Jarvan zone coming from the top. Jarvan comes in, and we blow him up, and by we I mean, me, Brandon, Tarek. So their Riven shows up, I exhaust her, and she gets ulted by Kale. She's probably going to get away, but we're going to dive this Tarek because, it's like 50 minutes in or something, so who cares about a tower. We're going to backdoor this. We're probably going to go do Nashor right now. That seems like something we would do. And then we're probably going to ram mid as hard as we can. So I'm going to just let this Nashor play without skipping it. Pretty much, just standard kill the dragon type of stuff. One thing I would like to note with Riven is that, because the closest person to Nashor is the one that's tanking him, you got to be careful with when you're using your shield and when you're using your Broken Wings combo. So we get Nashor. We're going to run down mid right now, and if I remember correctly, we are going to make a terrible mistake in the next 30 seconds. So we're going to try and just force down this inhibitor right here. And we definitely pick it up because, they can't really fight us 3v5 without towers. So then we try and backdoor this bottom one in front of all of them, which is a terrible, terrible decision, in case anyone was wondering. So we get into a fight, I'm watching the fight, but I'm trying to get this Kale. She gets her ult off. I've still got flash in the middle of them, but they've managed to pick up a pretty important kill already. So it's more or less time to get out of dodge. Now, I'm just gonna run because I can definitely make it out, but my Maokai is screwed. I mean, I can't really do anything for him without dying with him. So I'm just gonna keep running. They are going to push down mid, try and get this inhibitor, and really there's nothing I can do to stop them, so I don't know why I'd say try. They're pretty much just gonna get the inhibitor, and I'm gonna watch. So I didn't stop to pill, as you guys noticed, because honestly, it's really just safer to run on this character. At this stage in the game, if I were to get caught in the woods, the game would instantly be over. And there's nothing you can say that makes that not true. The game would just end. So here they're trying to backdoor, and what a good fortify from our Maokai. Manages to pick up a kill on Tarek. I follow in on this Jarvan, and Kale shows up. So it is once again 4v1. My Tarek shows up. It is now a 4v2. I have completed Triforce, triple potted. My inventory is completely full, so I'm going to try and kill this Kale, and she's gone. Boom, just like that. So now we're fighting. I've still got my ult up, so I toss it out, and then I run away while my team shows up. And we managed to pick up a kill on their Riven. She died earlier than that, but then her GA popped up, so she rezzed again. And I'm lifestealing off this creep wave while my team is fighting. So, I'm pretty sure at this point in the game we just run down mid and backdoor everything. But, my Tarek is chasing this Jarvan through the woods, which is a really big deal because, you know, an hour into the game, res timers are like 60 seconds long, and you can do a lot of stuff in 60 seconds. So we just roll up here. We're going to take this top inhibitor. I think we're going to take bottom inhibitor 2, and then we're going to take middle inhibitor and maybe close the game. I don't really remember. But yeah, I just want to, you know, make a comment about my build this game. Like, late game, I feel like this build is really, really, really good, but I need to find a good build to transition into this setup, because early game, like, was really bad. I just got totally rolled, couldn't do anything, no survivability, very little damage. It's just really, really pathetic overall. So this is pretty much it for my first Riven game commentary. If you guys like it and want to see more, then go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, you know, it's been happy to entertain you. Faro out.